Yeah. So my future aspiration was become a medical doctor, and I also have an aspiration to become a Catholic priest.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Quick Tech. So today I have one nice gentleman sitting by me. He's the chairperson for Pycon Ghana 2022. He's also the lead for Pycon user group.
Okay.
So Francis, can you please introduce yourself for us?
Oh, okay. So I'm Francis Billa. Yeah. So what else can I say about myself? So I'm a software engineer and particularly into infrastructure, cloud infrastructure development. That's my expertise at the moment. So I've been working with Turntable, particularly I'm working as a vendor for Morgan Stanley for the past close to 3 years now, and I work in their infrastructure team as one of their infrastructure engineers there. And apart from that, my daily life, I am a community builder, so I'm much into community building. So I'm part of the initiative, the Python User Group Ghana, where we started, and also think I had the vision to also start something when I was back in the university.
Okay.
I think that helped led me into the programming perspective because for me, the way I learn more is to teach others.
Okay.
So for me, I use the community as a way to really learn more. So I started an initiative of Python Cape Coast when I was in the university, and that was level 200 when I started that initiative, Python Cape Coast. So what I was doing then was to, when I learned Python, because on campus there were a few people learning Python, and I was part of it. So I learned Python, then I'll organize a meetup or I'll organize a class for people, then I'll teach them Python in order to confirm my understanding of what I was doing. And it really helped me. And I think that led me into my introduction into data science because everybody was doing data science on campus. So I wanted to do something separate. So I went into data science. So that is just a bit about myself.
Okay, let's go back to your background. Like, where do you come from?
Oh, okay. I hail from the upper east region of Ghana, but I've never been there before.
Oh,
sorry, I've never been there
you have
before.
been the second person who has been from that.
So I've just been in Kumasi. I was born in Kumasi, so I always think I'm from Kumasi, but I'm not from Kumasi. I'm from Upper East region in Ghana. So I've been a Kizar boy. I schooled in Kumasi throughout my life. I think it was in the university that I went to Cape Coast to school. So that was the only time I left Kumasi.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So your whole life, you spend the whole life.
Yes. I school life in Kumasi.
I heard people from Kumasi don't normally travel outside because of
You
the
know,
cost of living.
you know that thing.
outside.
Yeah. So when moving from Kumasi to Accra, so I think during my university age, I moved to Accra. And when I came to Accra, one funny thing was I was going to buy wachi. So in Kumasi, we call it awachi. Okay. So I went there and I said awachi, awachi. People were like, hey, Kumasi for no matter how. So I went there and the wachi in Accra, they were selling it 3 CDs upwards.
Okay.
But in Kumasi, I can buy it 1 CD. And I can get quantity as that can really satisfy me very well.
Wow.
And that was like, welcome to Accra. So I really love Kumasi.
Okay. Talking about your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you spend most of your childhood doing?
Okay, so my childhood, so I'm an introvert. I don't know whether it's negative or positive, but for me, I view it as positive thing. So I'm not someone who likes going out. So I was born an indoor person, where I like engaging with. I like watching cartoons a lot, and apart from cartoons, I really love games. Yeah, playing games, and I don't like soccer. So don't go FIFA. So I really don't like FIFA. So I like adventure games like the Aladdin, and there was one favorite game of mine, Beachhead. I really love that
Because
one.
I'm not that into games.
Oh, that's why you are lost. Okay.
Okay, so how come you get into the tech industry, tech field?
My journey to tech. Okay, so I think it actually started from I wasn't interested in tech because I didn't know anything about tech when I was starting up. So my interest in tech started when I got into the SHS. Although when I was in the GHS, after GHS, I went to computer classes. My dad enrolled me for a computer classes, so that
Oh,
was when I had introduction to computing, and I was just playing games. I know playing games and just doing those lovely things with PowerPoint and CorelDRAW. Yeah, but apart from that, I wasn't really doing anything much, and I didn't know anything called programming. I
okay.
really didn't know anything called programming. So for me, my future aspiration was to be a medical doctor. That was
You
what
did
is on my
science in
mind.
school, right?
Yeah, I did science in
Oh,
school. I did science in school. So
all medical science students
yeah,
want to become.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So my future aspiration was become a medical doctor, and I also have an aspiration to become a Catholic priest. Yeah.
So what change am I doing?
Take your time. You're coming. So, because of that, so after GHS, I went to the seminary. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so I went to St. Hubert Minor Seminary in Kumasi.
Father.
So yes, father. As you know, they were calling me father, 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 especially. So the seminary, the seminary is also an SHS,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
senior high school. So I was reading I went there. I was reading agriculture science because that time they weren't reading science in St. Hubert.
Okay.
Yeah, but because of my aspiration to become a medical doctor, I enrolled in an extra classes to study biology and physics attached
Okay.
to what I was doing.
Okay.
So it was very nice, and I really enjoyed it. And after SHS, I wrote on deck and passed both sub courses, and it was very nice. And so my interest in technology actually started from after school when I was done with FHS and I was in the house. I applied for several medical institutions, both outside and in
Okay.
Ghana, and I bet you none of them selected me.
Oh,
None, although my grade was perfect, but none of them
they
selected
turn you
me.
down.
Yeah, they turned me down.
They don't
So
want you to become a doctor.
good. So it was just then when I was in that. I always say this thing to really motivate people a
Yeah.
lot because I I thought I was disappointed in myself when I didn't get a chance to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
Okay. So it was when I was in the house. So I stayed in the house after SHS for 2 years, close to 3 years. And my dad was like, "No, you can't be staying in the house like this. Just try and get something to do." So my dad enrolled me into that time NIIT
Yeah.
for me. So it was that time that they were introducing Blue Crest University.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Blue Crest was more like a partnership. So I did a 3 months course with them. That gave me a very good introduction to computer science and if you, let me say software engineering. It was
Oh,
a
wow.
software engineering course, so it gave me a good understanding of it. So the next time that the university released forms, I was like, no, this time around, I'm going for computer science. So I selected for computer science for various universities in Ghana, and I bet you all of them selected me.
Wow.
Whilst I was being turned down for medical,
Medical.
all computer science were just rushing for it. So I felt okay, then maybe God is directing me somewhere.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I went and read computer science in University of Cape Coast. I particularly chose University of Cape Coast because of the sea there.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yeah,
You
because
want to see the
I
sea.
want to see the sea because that
So,
time I just want to leave Kumasi and feel the life outside and just experience the sea. So that was the particular reason I left Cape
what
Coast.
happened to your missionary career?
Oh, okay. So the missionary dream. So when I was completing the seminary education, something I had an issue with my spiritual director. So that really turned my zeal and my aspiration for the missionary duty
Oh,
down.
okay.
Yeah. So even with that, so I really didn't let go of my missionary duty. So I went forward when my 2 years of staying home. I went forward to a theological studies.
Okay.
Okay, one theological studies in Kumasi called North Carolina College of Theology. So I went and just did some theological studies there. By I don't know whether the calling is still on me or not. So maybe I become a priest or I become
A full
a
something.
full a software one day. So I don't know. But currently, I'm just a software engineer and I really enjoy my field a lot. So, one thing I always say is that this very person who earlier wished to become a medical doctor, if I enter the hospital, then I see even blood oozing from someone, I just feel some way and I'm
Oh,
like, so this was the same person who wanted to become a medical doctor. So I think God was directing me actually somewhere.
Yeah,
Or maybe should I say destiny or whatever it is
destiny
was
changes
directing me
along the
somewhere. Yeah, so
as
that's the
one of the
thing.
ladies said, and that's why most of the ladies when they come out from the university,
Uh-huh.
they change their well,
Exactly. Exactly.
okay. So talking about this, what are some of the challenges you face getting into tech?
Okay. So the first challenges I'm going to really mention is the exposure that in Ghana we really okay currently it's increasing because earlier Ghana we really didn't have the exposure of technology or exposure to software engineering. Okay, um, I'll give I really like talking about my life story, so I'll give a typical example. Like I went and taught in a GHS in Kumasi,
Okay.
and once I went there, the same story happened when I was teaching. I actually taught in Presec Legon before. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So in Kumasi, I took a test where I asked these students their future aspiration. And I bet you none of them mentioned software engineering or any field related to software engineering
Too late.
to date.
Yes, even if you ask them too late.
Seriously, I went to Presec when I was in university. I was teaching at Presec. I asked the students level 100. That was first year
Someone,
students
yeah,
in Presec. I asked them the same thing, and none of them mentioned software engineering. They even something that they mentioned that was close to tech was just network engineer. That was
yes,
close to tech.
yes. That
That
was
was
what I
even
also
about
heard
one person.
when I was in
Oh,
SHS.
seriously. And I really felt pathetic towards that. And I was in their shoes when I was in it because you see, I told you earlier that I really didn't know about tech when I was in GHS and I was in SHS. It was just after SHS that I got to know about this thing called programming and whatever it is. Yeah. So my first thing that I would say that is the exposure. That's the exposure. We really didn't get the exposure to technology in the earlier stage
Okay.
because if I was having like currently, I really advise my kid brothers to really pick programming very serious
Yes.
and even teach
Yeah.
them. If I was supposed to be fortunate, like how they are fortunate that they are having their senior brother in programming that is advising them, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would have been the best programmer in Africa by this time. Yeah. So I'll say the first one is the exposure, that the exposure wasn't really there. The next one I'll complain about is the connection. That the connection is not also really there. That you really don't get people to be connected, as in people who will mentor you and people who will guide you to bring something better out of yourself.
Yeah.
So for me, like when should I say I found about all these weakness that I was in when I was in the university. So in the university, when I was in level 100, level 200, I was a first class student then. But when I reached level 300, I realized that it's not my grade that is actually going to get me a job. Seriously, it's not my grade that is actually going to
First
get me
class
a job.
doesn't get job.
Exactly. So what I started doing was that was when I really got into the tech communities. I was like, no, I need to really create connections for myself. So I started connecting to people, attending tech conferences and this. And anytime I attend conferences, I make sure I get to know people, yeah, and pick people's contact that I can be speaking and emailing them every
Oh,
day about opportunities and asking them to mentor me on what. So it helped me to meet many people. Foster, Ivy Bali, Ivy Bali,
oh wow.
Abet of Kumasi, Hyperspace, many big people. Nicholas of Lawrence and the rest. I met many big people.
Oh.
Even Ato Olsen,
Yeah.
formerly of Google. Yeah,
Google, yeah.
yeah. I met them,
Ghana
and
team.
yeah, and currently even I can call out to them for help anytime I need help because they've really become and they were very impactful in my career. So I'll complain about the connection, that the connection wasn't there unless you pushing for
Push.
the connection.
Yeah.
And with someone from Cape Coast, from University of Cape Coast, one thing I'll complain about was the connection and even the environment. That Cape Coast wasn't really having that environment of tech
Yes.
in our
Because
surrounding.
even till now, it's Accra that is
Exactly. It's a crowd that is fortunate to be
fortunate.
having these
Yeah.
tech hubs and those things are available. So Cape Coast wasn't really having that.
Okay. So can you share with us your daily activities that you do at work?
Okay, so my daily activities that I do at work. So I think when I start work early in the morning, so I log in to my VM as usual, and I'm supposed to be doing so. My team is diversified.
Okay.
Okay, that earlier when I started Morgan Stanley, what I was into was deploying gateways, trying to build maybe a self-servicing applications to really develop, deploy gateways. I really, really go extreme
Yeah.
because of my client's confidentiality. So I
Okay.
really, really go
Okay.
extreme. So that was what I was into, and really mastering more of Golang, okay, with DevOps stuff like Ansible, Terraform, and the rest. Okay, that was what I used to do. But as a software engineer, we normally change our skills.
Yeah.
So I did that for quite a long time, like a year or two. I think a year and a half. Yeah. Then I
Wow.
changed to into Java. So there's some work also in Java
Yeah.
along the line, Spring Boot. So using Spring Boot for these infrastructure development and the rest. Then currently what I move on with writing Python scripts to really help aid in this infrastructure deployment and the rest. So that's what I really do on my daily basis.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm.
That's nice. So I want you to share with this upcoming someone who is coming into tech or into software engineering. What are some of the things the person needs to take serious when getting into those?
Okay, so your question goes, what are some of the things maybe someone who want to come into tech need
Tech.
to really take
Yeah.
serious, yeah,
Yeah.
in order to become successful in their tech career? So the first thing I'm going to mention is first have the passion.
Okay.
Okay, tech comes with passion. If you are really not
Not the
passionate,
money, right?
not the money. I always say this, that if you go into tech because of the money, if you don't take care, you will fail. Okay, because the money will disappoint you. If you don't take care, you fail. But if you do with passion and love, the money will follow you.
Okay.
Okay, the money will follow you. So first have the passion, have the love for what you're going to do. Make sure you love what you're going to do. Okay, tech is very broad.
Yeah.
Okay, so and the money is everywhere.
Okay.
That's why you must really find where you are passionate in. Let's say, for instance, you are someone who really love mathematics.
Okay.
Okay, now you want to become a programmer because you seen that, oh, in your software engineering field, they are really chopping huge amounts of money, so you want to become a programmer. Okay, now what the best thing for you to do is now check the software engineering field or check the tech field. See which parts that you, the mass that you love, can really fit well in
Okay.
and belong there.
Okay.
Not that it's high paying. Let me use, for instance, myself. I really like analysis stuff, and I like things that make me think a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so if just now, if you give me something to do in a UI, that's UI, US
Yes.
UI,
Yeah.
it's very boring for me. I bet you. Although I will do it for you, but I wouldn't really do it perfectly as someone with a passion about it.
Okay.
Okay, but if you give me some sort of back end of with data analysis or what, I can spend days really just loving what I'm doing and
Oh,
really
okay.
develop it very well for you.
Okay.
But with UI, am really not a lover of colors. So it doesn't mean that when a client comes along and be like, oh, I'm having this UI project which is really paying huge sums of money, then I'll quickly jump on it. Okay. No, you need to do something that you're passionate about. I think I always complain about this because it's Ghana, or let me say Africa, that opportunities are really not available like that. So we tend to really punish ourselves like that by thanks be to remote, that we have many remote jobs
Yeah.
around, so you can really fish in for remote job and get all these opportunities. But as I would say, first is passion. Just be passionate about it. The next thing to do is really be hardworking.
Okay.
Okay, be hardworking, because I always say that even to fail is hard.
Yes.
To succeed is also hard.
Sad.
So which one are you going in for?
I would rather go for this.
Good. So why don't you just put in all the work and just be successful? Okay. Because anything that you, even sleeping in this world cry is hard. To
Yeah.
sleep cry is hard.
Yeah.
So
Very,
just
very
don't sleep.
difficult for
Just
me.
put in all the hard work, get the job done, and really make sure you become successful in what you're doing. So the next point I'm going to mention is about creating connection for yourself. Get
Okay.
people to mentor you. Okay, get people to mentor you. So if you get someone to mentor you, just learn the path that this person have taken. It's not that go to the person for the person to be giving you tutorials or what.
Okay.
No, software engineers and particularly people in technology really don't have time.
Yeah.
So if you really go to someone, then you tell the person that, oh, you're expecting the person to come and sit down and now teach you how what is Python and how to code in Python or program in Python. My friend, you'll be failing. So you need to now, because if you approach a software engineer or a person in technology that you want to learn this, what most 99% of software engineers are going to, they will send you links.
Yes, yes.
No one is going to like, oh, I'm booking a time, come and let me teach you this. They will send you links. Now go and learn. And that is how I feel this. That's why the second point I stated is hardworking. Okay, that you must be hardworking. These connections are going to provide you places and platforms for you to really learn. Then you go there, then you learn. So the next point I'll really will speak about is actually not giving up. Okay, tend not to give up. Okay, so a typical story that I'm going to give is my life story concerning how uh, I ended up in data science. I told you earlier that people were doing data science on campus. So I wanted people were doing web development and other things. So I wanted something that people are not doing. That's why I went into data science. So with that one, I was on campus just doing data science. No one was doing it, and I was the only one, just a lonely developer on campus. And I was just doing these courses and just doing this cargo test and the rest. And I had no experience, and I really didn't trust in myself that what I was doing was even good. Okay, so there was once a hackathon being organized in Spentest, Ghana, and I decided to really join this hackathon to really see. And in the hackathon, I was the only person. The only person who knew myself. I didn't know anybody in that hackathon. So fortunately, I went there, and pressure. You know, someone from Cape Coast, and you see these Accra people dressing like Turkish and the rest. You see people from Mest and people from Ashesi and the rest. So, actually, pressure day. Reading books. So I got there, and the hackathon was supposed to start, and they were like, everybody should be in their teams. Yeah, I came alone. I don't have any team. I went to the organizer. I was like, me, I came alone. I don't have any team. So what do you do? They was like, okay, fortunately, some people came without team. So you people should group yourself here. Then we will group you into teams. So they group up into teams of 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Then the hackathon started. It was supposed to be 3 hours hackathon. So we started, and I got into my team, and I asked them. So we started asking ourselves. So what do you know? What can you do? What can you do? How can you do? They were all mentioning web development, web development. Even one lady of them, the lady was into business and really, and let me say, she's a beginner in tech, so she really doesn't know anything about tech. She's now coming to really get the passion from there and go and do something. And she was in my team. So in the team, I was the only person who have done something data science related. Or like, hey Francis, then today is on you. Me too, I've never attended any competition. Me, the data science I know is just in my in my hostel. I don't go anywhere. So me and myself. So this meeting actually started. This hackathon actually started, where they started developing some web interface for what we want to do. And me, I've never built dashboard, so I don't know how to integrate those analysis with this web app and those things. So I was just doing my Jupyter Notebook stuff, because that's what my tutorials have been teaching me. So I started doing my Jupyter Notebook stuff, and actually the thing wasn't running. That's something I was expecting to run. It wasn't running, so I was doing something with Plotly, and Plotly wasn't running for me. So it got to the 3 hours time, and they even added an hour, and still my thing was just not running for me. So unfortunately for me, we were the first team to make our presentation at the hackathon. We were called Team Alpha. I won't forget my team's name. We were called Team Alpha. So during the presentation, I told my team that no, I want to be the one who is monitoring the computer. So I'm just going to, because I didn't do anything, so they should just go and stand there. Yeah. So they just go and stood there. It was just a 10 minutes presentation, and as they were doing it, I decided that, let me run my code again to see why. Then so I started going through my code, and I ran it again. The thing was in. Wow. The thing was in, and it was running. It was actually, we were doing analysis with air quality data set within Accra, some zones within
Oh, okay.
Accra, and it's at a time graph, so they were expecting some dynamic graphs.
Okay.
Okay, and I plotted dynamic graph plotly. So these people finished. You know something that happened. My team finished presentation, and Darlington Akulugu, you know him. He's into
Um,
data science with UN.
okay.
So Darlington came in on like, what you guys are doing? You presented. It's nothing data science. So it was when Darlington mentioned that it's nothing data science related, and my code also compiled nicely for me. So like, oh, then I came in with my team that, okay, please, I have something else to add. So they were surprised that, Francis, what do you have? What do you have? So I went to add there, then push my Jupyter notebook there, and I presented my dynamic graph, and the team was just going, ka, 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 and Darlington started clapping for me. I was
Wow.
like, wow, this is what I'm talking about. So I didn't actually trust myself that what I did
Wow.
is even going to end somewhere. Immediately, I was done with my presentation. I ran away from the hackathon.
Oh, okay.
I went to stay home and watch a Chelsea football match. I'm a big Chelsea fan.
Wow.
So I was home enjoying football match. Around in the evening, when my team called me that I should come for 1,000 Ghana cedis, and we became the second runner up.
Wow. So I would say trust. You should trust yourself as a beginner when you
Exactly.
are coming up.
Exactly. And we have something in tech called imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You always feel that what you're doing is very small,
Yeah.
but never feel that what you're doing is just small. Just feel that what you're doing is really worth it.
Okay.
It's really worth it.
Okay. So in the software, if someone want to venture into software engineering as a beginner, which programming languages will you advise the
Mm.
person to go in front end or back end? Which programming language for front end and which one for back end?
Depending on what you want to do, because some people are very brilliant. So if you tell them to start from this, you really be limiting their
Oh,
knowledge.
okay.
But for me, preferably, I'll be biased towards Python because I'm
Okay.
a great Python lover. So I'll be biased towards Python, and Python is very beginner
Yeah.
friendly. Yeah, it's beginner friendly. So for backend, I'll be biased towards Python. For front end, I'll ask the person just to start with some normal Bootstrap and CSS or with JavaScript stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'll tell the person to start with.
Okay. Thank you very much. Your
You're
last
welcome.
word for our audience.
My last words is never give up, and don't really tend to feel like what you're doing is not enough. Always feel like you can really do it. You can really do it. And don't do it for the money, do it for the passion.
Never give up. Keep that word in mind.
Yes.
Your social media handles, if someone
Oh,
want to
okay.
follow you.
So I'm Francis Billa everywhere on Twitter, Francis Billa, Francis underscore Billa, yeah. On LinkedIn, Francis Billa. I'm very active on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Okay.
I'm not active on IG. I'm not active on Snapchat. So yeah, you can get me on Twitter.
Okay. Thank you very much for this conversation. It has been another great masterpiece you've heard. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Peace.